All right, hey guys, in this video, we're going to be looking at Beryl continuing to threaten the Texas coast. And look, I don't think it's just Texas that has to be concerned about this. This will move north, not just for East Texas, but further to the north and east. We're going to be looking at this all week for the potential for bringing some heavy flooding rains, and it could be a real problem. So we're going to talk about that today. But let's quickly look at Beryl. One of the good things that I want to point out, if you look at the latest infrared satellite, a lot of reds here earlier in the day. Notice as we move into the evening, we're kind of going through a cycle here where things are pulsing down a little bit. That doesn't mean the forecast has changed. Still, from the National Hurricane Center, the forecast is for this thing to strengthen back to a hurricane and then move inland, quickly being downgraded to a tropical storm. It's going to encounter the friction of the land, and it's going to lose the source of all of that energy, the warm Gulf of Mexico. So once it moves inland, it will start to weaken, eventually becoming a tropical depression. And it looks like the center of that will move very close to Texarkana into parts of Arkansas. The center moving very close to Little Rock, Arkansas, if you had to guess, and then maybe up toward Memphis, and then eventually into parts of southern Indiana and southern Illinois. I think at that point, we're really not so concerned with the hurricane force winds or anything like that. It's just the heavy rain that's on the way. And I tell you, with these landfalling tropical systems, you got to watch for tornadoes, especially when you get that low-level wind shear developing around that center of circulation once that moves ashore. So that will certainly be something I think we're going to be watching all week. Here's a quick look at the upper level pattern because I want to show you something. First of all, it is absolutely scorching across the west. I mean, crazy heat. I guess if there's some bad news, it's that this really doesn't seem to be going away over the next couple of days. Here comes Beryl here. If you watched any of the videos I put out, I guess even into last weekend, I was talking about this trough and the influence it will have on Beryl, and it certainly is. It's starting to tug it north. That's what we're seeing here, and it's coming to pass as we head into Sunday. It'll continue to pull that thing north. Eventually, look at this. It gets absorbed by it, and then it starts to really just shear it out and push it off to the north and east. I hope it moves quickly. I hope it doesn't get left behind. I hope the upper level modeling is good. I hope everything is coming together, because if you get these things to linger, they can cause big problems. But as of right now, it looks like it will move ashore. The main concern, though, that I think that a lot of people are looking at will be this last minute strengthening before it comes ashore. You know, we kind of saw this with Charlie many, many years ago. I'm not saying we're seeing one of those situations again, but sometimes you get that last hurrah right before you get ashore. And look, some of these models are picking up on that right there. And it might just be on this front right side, especially here. So Houston up in this area, these are winds over hurricane force, at least being modeled here, and especially as it reaches the shore. So that is a concern, I think, as we move into Sunday, into Monday. And again, as this moves inland, it will start to weaken. But look, we're still going to be dealing with some strong winds across East Texas into a lot of Louisiana, eventually even into Arkansas. Listen, these winds are going to be 30 to 40 miles per hour and, maybe even some higher gusts. Eventually, it will start to weaken, and the winds threat really kind of goes away, and we're just looking at the flooding threat. Here's the spaghetti plots looking very confident in that idea of landfalling here somewhere in southeast Texas. We've got hurricane warnings up for lower and middle Texas. Those hurricane warnings now in place from Baffin Bay to Sargent. Those may change, so make sure you head to the National Hurricane Center website to get those official updates if they do change. But preparations need to be made now if you are along the Texas coast, and I would say even inland too. Get ready, because that wind is going to be going too. We're also going to be dealing with flash flooding, urban flooding, especially as we head into Sunday, into next week too, once this thing moves off to the north and east. Here's the latest GFS model pulling it ashore, and this pretty much the same place here. And look at this, pushing it northeast across Arkansas, moving it quickly, what's left of it, through the Ohio Valley and into the Great Lakes. That has been the trend. And I showed this a couple of days ago. I think this is really important, especially for areas that are moisture starved. It's been dry across a lot of the southeast. Guys, I've been driving through South Carolina and North Carolina. I've seen corn crops that are just, and soybeans too, that have just been decimated by drought. The good news is, and I hope it's not too late for everybody, some of you may have even picked up some rain over the last couple of days. Beryl's going to bring some moisture north, but it's also going to change the weather pattern. And I think right here along the coast, we've kind of got some convergence going on here with Beryl to the west. It may actually stay dry, unfortunately, in some parts on the south side of wherever Beryl goes. But I think rain chance is certainly a lot higher this coming week. That's going to help with this, right? So the Drought Monitor really high here. We're starting to see some decent oranges starting to show up here across the mid-Atlantic. And of course, across the west, we've been dealing with drought conditions in parts of Oklahoma, Kansas, even into parts of Idaho and Montana. Some really dry conditions, and significant drought here across parts of Texas and New Mexico continues. Here's a look at the rain over the next 7 days or so. We're going to let this run out. This will be accumulated rain. This isn't just one event, so this isn't just take this with a grain of salt. It's like looking at a snow map, but we're looking at the rain totals. Look at this particular model, especially as we head into Wednesday and Thursday, keeping parts of the Ohio Valley and parts of Tennessee and Kentucky, places we've been very dry still. Does that happen? I don't know. We've got a pretty decent slug of moisture coming through. The good news is, I think, especially into the Carolinas, it'll be hit or miss, but there will be at least a decent chance of seeing some rain over the next 7 days. Severe weather on the table again on Sunday here across parts of Oklahoma, North Texas, and also here along the Gulf Coast as Beryl moves ashore. The potential for some tornadoes definitely increasing, and I think you got to watch that even further north as we head into the overnight hours into Monday with that landfalling tropical low. Severe weather continuing here along the south coast of Texas and Louisiana as we head into Monday. That's being drawn out here by the Storm Prediction Center. Let's look at the future radar. We'll time some of this rain out for you through the overnight. We'll keep these showers going here across the northern plains. Wet weather moving now into Wisconsin, parts of Iowa. Some decent storms, too, across Kansas and Oklahoma possible through Sunday morning. And then that complex moves south tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see how strong these actually get. That's that area the Storm Prediction Center was pointing out heading into tomorrow afternoon across Oklahoma and Texas. And some damaging winds looking certainly likely with some of these as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. And here comes Beryl, tight as can be, just wound up there. Look at that as we move into early Monday morning, moving into Texas. And then here comes that moisture moving north. Torrential rains here around those rain bands. And I'll tell you what, these feeder bands also here into parts of Louisiana need to be watched. You're going to have a lot of wind shear, so your tornado threat may start to increase, especially here with these bands, wherever they set up, and then that starts to move to the north. A little bit further to the east, again, we've seen some shower activity here across the Carolinas, and that will continue overnight into early Sunday morning. It doesn't look like everybody sees it, but there will be another chance for some more showers as we head into Sunday. I don't think they'll be maybe as widespread as what we saw today, but still another chance on the table with more showers here up across, again, parts of Wisconsin and Illinois, and then those die down. And then here's Beryl off to our south and west. Scattered showers kind of pushed to the south into parts of Georgia as we head into Tuesday. And then into Wednesday, it looks like things do start to move back north. Across the west, though, super dry here and super hot. Highs on Sunday, pushing 120 for a lot of the Central Valley of California, especially on the south side of that of the valley here. Even across the far desert southwest, temperatures here will be well above 120 in some areas. Phoenix, 115, certainly not off the table. And then as we head into, Monday, another day of 120-degree temperatures, 100 in teens. And triple-digit heat now pushing into eastern Washington that could be in the 100 in teens for parts of Oregon and Washington. My goodness. I mean, this is super hot here. Unbelievable heat here across parts of Northern California into Oregon. The only escape, get way up in the mountains and you might get back into the 80s. So it's just absolutely brutal. And look, this heat doesn't look like it's going to back off. These are modeled highs for Wednesday. Going into Thursday, maybe some relief as we move toward the late part of the week. Going back to the upper level flow, I want to show you guys this. This would be Thursday. There's your big heat dome now. It's kind of shifting out of the northwest, so there may be some relief here, but not a lot. If anything, maybe it's shifting closer to the plains. And I think, yes, there will be some relief. It's not going to be a big cool down, but maybe we get a break from the 120s. That'd be nice, right? All right, that's all I got for now, guys. I hope you come back. If you're not subscribed, I hope you will. And I will catch you guys next time. Be safe.